Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. It is Big Joe and Laura welcoming you to Monday, May 13th, 2024. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to a new week. How are you?
I'm doing good. It was quite the weekend. I had a good time. I hope everybody else had a good time too.
What'd you get into?
We'll talk more about it throughout the show. Some things I got into, some things I didn't get into. But I guess backtracking my steps here, yesterday was really fun. Got to go to the Whitecaps game, and they had their Paint the Park Pink event, so that was really cool. And the thing I love, I think you do too, Laura, I could speak for us on this, is when we get to meet people that listen to the show, actually physically in person and talk to you. And we had so many people walking in. Families were going for Mother's Day, and it was honestly just something, it felt so good. It was like chicken noodle soup for the soul, but radio soup for the soul.
We have a lot of friends?
Well, let's not say a lot.
Like more than 5.
Combined? Yes. No. Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, it could be one group of 5 people. I wasn't saying 5 separate groups. I know the reality of the situation. No,
it was so fun. And our friends of the Whitecaps were great. I ran into Lynn, who we get to do a lot of stuff with too. And it was a good game. Until the end, the game that Whitecaps actually lost in extra innings. They were up 5-0, but we're not talking about that.
No, we're not. That's not important. We're there for the vibes. We're not there for the score.
It was fun, and we also got to have the day before on Saturday. We had my wife's cousins over for some yard games. We'll talk about that. That was kind of a cool little win for me. But what about you? I feel like, man, you had probably like the best Mother's Day ever. It seemed like a weekend.
I had an incredible Mother's Day. I mean, I have the cutest little son in the whole world. Friday, he turned 6 months old. So we went to our first restaurant out. We went out to Tupelo Honey, and he was such a good little guy the whole time. Aww. Yay, baby Jay. So he did a really good job. He even made friends at the table next to us because he kept kind of like doing this thing where he was like leaning his head entirely all the way back. And the guy behind him was like, hey, Fred. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He just likes looking at everybody, and he doesn't see a lot of people outside of our house. So we had a good time there. And then Saturday morning, I actually bought a brand new car, like brand new, off the lot. Only has, I think it had 19 miles on it when I purchased it, which is the first time I've ever been able to do that in life. And
Isn't that crazy to look at your odometer? You're like, oh my God, this is mine.
This is mine. I've owned it from the start. And I get to, and I got a Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid, and it's so nice. It's so much nicer than what I'm used to. It has like an app that I can turn it on, and I can check if the doors are locked and like all this crazy stuff. And so we're really excited about that. And then Sunday, I got to spend Mother's Day with my entire family, which I think was really the highlight of the week. Like, buying a new car is really cool and everything, but getting to spend time, my stepmom came up from Kentucky. I got to spend time at our in-laws' house, and we were all together. And it was just one of those really magical moments that is very rare for us since our family lives so far apart, to really get all the moms together and have a good lunch. And again, just little Justin was being so wonderful, and it was just such a good day.
We are sharing some of those pictures for you this morning up on our Big Joe and Laura Facebook and Instagram page, also Mix 95.7 GR. So you can see kind of our weekend recap, and we'd love to kind of see how yours was.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
Cedar Point posted on their Facebook page yesterday morning that after only days of being open, Top Thrill 2 is currently experiencing an extended closure as the ride's maker are trying to figure out, okay, we need to make some modifications to this ride.
Oh, that's so frustrating. I can't even imagine if you went specifically to ride it because it's so new, and then you're like, oh, closed, sucks to suck.
I know, but it also scares me too. Like 8 days in, like, what's going on?
Clearly you haven't been on the same part of YouTube that I'm on, because I don't trust 95% of rides anymore after some of the stuff I've seen on the internet.
They are not sure when it'll be up and running, but they say keep on checking their social media. They'll keep you updated.
Okay, I love a good flea market, especially if I can find something real cute for a really good deal. So I'm super excited about this. But the Farm Girl Flea Market, it's returning this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to the Hudsonville Fairgrounds. If you don't know about this one, it's kind of a big deal. Flea Market Style Magazine said it's one of the top 100 markets in the country to attend.
Wait a minute. There's a magazine called Flea Market Style?
Absolutely. It sounds like my kind of magazine. Where do you think I get these awesome outfits from?
I must have forgot to subscribe.
Exactly. Well, they're going to have over 150 makers, live music, drinks, food trucks, all sorts of fun stuff. So if you're in town, absolutely make sure you go out there. They'll have antiques, decor, furniture, and air quotes, vintage treasures, which mean random stuff you don't need that you absolutely want.
And for your final need to know news story, story. We're taking a trip down to Ohio where a postal worker was caught racing a Mustang in her USPS mail van.
What?
Is there a reason you're going over 100?
I didn't realize that I was going that fast.
Yeah. I mean, that Mustang took off, he caught my attention, and then you blew by him, and I was pacing you at like 105.
I shouldn't have.
Did you know the person in the Mustang?
No.
Okay.
They were driving around ridiculous on 590, but...
I kind of assumed when the way they took off and at the light there, because I was right across from you.
Right.
So he saw me coming up behind him, and he did the right thing and stopped or slowed down, and then you continued.
All right. She's my new hero, and I think I want her as my mail person because I know she absolutely is getting my stuff on time.
I hear she's being recruited by Amazon. That is Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7. Good morning. It is the Big Joe and Laura show on Mix 95.7. And boy, you ever just feel like I'm the only person that missed out on something? Everybody else got to see it, got to do it. Yeah, that's how I feel. I know I sound like a little wah.
A little bit.
We're Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7. Over the weekend, I don't even know how I didn't notice this was happening on Friday because I feel like with our job, we're on top of this stuff and usually it's in our Need to Know News.
Yeah.
But I totally did not know that we were going to be able to see the Northern Lights.
Well, I don't think most people did. It was supposed to kind of be up in the northern part of the state, but I think that there was kind of like a solar storm that basically made everything go way bigger than normal. I mean, they were seeing it as far south as Florida, so that was definitely not expected. And I think they kind of figured it out like Friday afternoon that it was going to happen. So it was after we were on air in your defense.
Well, I appreciate it, but it seems like everybody. I thought Lindsay's like, oh, there's something on the Nextdoor app or whatever. Somebody posted a photo. It's a mile down the road. I'm like, what? Then I open up Facebook Friday night and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, are these AI generated photos?
No, it looked incredible. And I saw the same thing. I even saw my family text chat from back home, like all my friends or my family in Ohio and Kentucky. They were all like, we can see the Northern Lights. And I'm like, whoa, if you can see it, I definitely can see it.
You're like, put down the moonshine. You've seen plenty of it.
No, it was incredible though. I was able to barely see it from my house.
So you did see it.
Not with my naked eye. And if you were in Grand Rapids itself, you likely weren't able to see it with your naked eye, but you were able to use your phone in night mode. If you have an iPhone to use night mode, you were still able to get a photo. So unfortunately, the baby was asleep by the time I kind of figured everything out. And it's like, well, I can't get him out and go out further out into the city to do anything about it. So I took my phone and I shoved it up against my bedroom window and put it on night mode. And I've got one really terrible, crappy photo of it, but I did kind of see it. It was really cool.
Then we tried it because that was Friday night. I think the most vivid it was. But there were still some people that said they saw it on Saturday night, and we stayed up and they kept on pushing the time back. I felt like I was at a Madonna concert where it keeps on getting pushed back later and later you hear about.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, 10:30 to midnight. And then it's like, well, between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m., so Lindsay set an alarm, and I didn't. If she set it for like 2 a.m. again, I think so. It would have been like Sunday morning, Saturday night. Nothing. I'm like, okay.
Aww.
So I don't know. I am bummed, but if you got to see it, I'd love to hear about it. Maybe you didn't even know it was happening. You look and be like, whoa.
That's insane. Yeah, send us a DM in the Mix 95.7 app, or you can send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. But we would love to see the photos of what you saw and make Joe a little bit jealous this morning.
Or you could be like, yeah, I didn't see it either. Good morning. It is Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. And, you know, it is easy to get caught up in all the negativity that seems to be going on in the world. That's why we want to highlight the good stuff. We call this Big Joe's Little Wins. And that's the thing, Laura. It can be the littlest of little wins. We just want to hear about it. We want you to share them with us. Call 616-600-0957. That is 616-600-0957. We want to celebrate you. We want to spread some, I would say, much needed positivity out there. So, Laura, I would like to share some of mine, but I'd like to hear you too. Like, you got anything you want to share, some little wins?
I had a decent weekend. I'd say I'd had a lot of little wins, but I think my littlest big win for myself was that I bought myself a car for Mother's Day.
Dang, that's quite the treat. You've had a car for a long time, too, your last one.
Yeah, and I've only had, crappy older cars the whole way through. I've had hand-me-downs. I've had all sorts of stuff. And finally, I'm in a place in life where I was able to actually go do my homework, pick out and buy a brand new vehicle. It only had 19 miles on it. Shout out to Scott and the team over at Fox Hyundai. They were amazing. They made the whole process really easy. And I fell in love with it instantly. And it's really nice. There's a lot of features on it I don't fully understand, which we could get into at a later date. But I feel very blessed and very excited that I could have such a great Mother's Day. A first one with my little guy, my family, and also that as well. So
I love hearing that, and that's just great.
What about you?
For myself, this is like a little win that I've really been trying to do for the past almost couple of years, and that is have people over at our place for a little get together. We had Lindsay's cousins come over on Saturday. Started out kind of wet and cold. I'm like, is this going to work? What's going to happen? Well, it did. The weather got good. We played some yard games. We had a little bonfire, and then we just came inside and hung out some more too. Overall, it was so simple, but it's something I've been telling you about, Laura, behind the scenes. Like, I just want to have people over for, a year or two now?
Yeah, I'm so proud of you because I know that's been a real struggle to get your house in a place you want it to be. And I don't ever think your house is that messy based on what I know about you, but I know it's just that confidence in getting it to where you want to do. Good for you for doing that.
Now, we have another Laura, not Laura Hardy, but we have Laura in Hudsonville. Hey, thanks for calling in this morning at 616-600-0957. Can you tell us about your little win?
I am graduating with my master's degree this weekend.
Oh, heck yeah! Woo!
What are you graduating in?
Nurse practitioner.
Oh, good for you. That's what my sister does. And it's such a rewarding and awesome thing that you do, not only helping people, but the little extra money on the top doesn't hurt.
Correct, yes.
That's awesome. You got any big plans like to celebrate? Are you going to go out and grab something to eat or see any friends or family? What are you doing?
Yeah, so my family's I'm actually going to Jackson to graduate from Spring Arbor, so my whole family's coming, and I have two boys that have watched me go through 2.5 years of school and get to watch me walk across the stage, so I'm excited.
That is so cool. Not only to be a mom who is going to school at the same time, but getting to share that with your kids. Like that, what a special, amazing thing, Laura.
Yes, I'm excited.
Laura, thank you so much for sharing that great news, and we're going to be there in spirit. We're so proud of you.
Yeah, we're throwing confetti in the air right now for you.
Sounds great. Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
good
Have
day.
a great one.
Oh, I love that. See, it's that stuff. You're not bragging. Don't feel like you're bad. Share the good stuff with us this morning at 616-600-0957. It's Big Joe's Little Wins here on Mix 95.7. It is Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. Thanks so much for letting us be a part of your morning.
And thanks for letting me be a part of your life. I want to share something really special for mine this morning. And maybe you've been in this scenario, whether it was this year or 20, 30 years ago. I'd love to hear from you at 616-600-0957. But over the weekend, I had my very first Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very excited. You know, it's weird because, last year we knew that we were pregnant. And obviously that's not really like the first Mother's Day. You kind of start to feel it, but you don't really truly understand what Mother's Day is about when you're expecting. And it was a really bittersweet weekend. My stepmom was in town, who is basically for all working purposes my real mom, because she's been there for me the whole way through. My mom passed away when I was 9. My stepmom's been there the whole way through, kind of being my guiding force and my background support all the way through. And it was really good. This is the first time she's ever driven up to West Michigan from Kentucky. So that was a really big deal to have her here.
She must love you to go that far. That's a good drive.
Oh, yeah. It's like 7 hours, and she's never driven that far anywhere by herself. So it was a really big deal that she kind of made the road trip up here to be here with us. And so we spent a lot of really good quality time together. She went with me when I purchased my car this weekend. And it was really nice to have her here because, you don't realize how important family is when it comes to your life until you have kids, and you realize how much you have to lean on family to support you. And my in-laws do a really great job, but I always feel sad that my stepmom's not there to see my little guy growing up as much as we would like to. It's been 5 months since she saw him, so he's a whole different creature since the last time she came to visit.
Yeah, he's grown a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, great little guy. And my husband, James, gets gold stars across the board. He did a really good job. Not only did he get presents from Justin to me, Justin got me some flowers and some
nice
candy, some bath bombs, some fun stuff. James also got me the bird feeder I really want for our backyard because I just want to be able to sit at the table and watch birds, as stupid as that sounds.
Laura the bird lady, yeah.
I mean, we have a blue jay and some cardinals and stuff in the backyard, so I just wanted to attract more friends to my yard. And so we got that as well. And then we went out to the in-laws and had a big lunch with them. And it was really nice to just kind of hang out on the back porch and just have some really nice time. And maybe me and the husband caught a nap on the couch because it was Mother's Day and no one can tell you can't have a nap in the middle of Mother's Day.
I was going to say, was that the best gift right there out of all of them? Honestly, like a little bit of shut-eye?
Yes, that 20-minute nap was probably the best part of my whole day. But there was some bittersweetness to it because, like I told you earlier, my mom passed away when I was 9, and yesterday was actually her birthday also.
Oh, wow. That's got to be really tough.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of made me reflect a lot on the fact that, I wish she was here to see her grandson, who obviously she has no idea idea was ever going to be a thing. You know, it's like it was so long out, and it's weird to kind of go through that and see so much of him and her and my father and stuff. And so, you know, it was bittersweet to kind of be like, hey, I get to have this first and I don't get to share it with my mom. And it was also her birthday on top of it. So it was just like a whirlwind of emotions. But honestly, I think it was one of the best days I think I've ever had in my entire life, as silly as it sounds, because it was just so simple. It was so family focused. And that's what I love about holidays. It's not about the gifts. If my husband had gotten me nothing, I would not have cared. I had such a great day just because it's so refreshing and nice to just spend time with your family and really feel appreciated, especially when you're so run down with a little baby. I mean, he even gave me a Mother's Day gift of he almost said mama. Almost. He was so close.
Very close, but still da.
It's like a
Da,
ba.
da.
We're at a ba now. Which
How's
is
his Uncle Joe going? Uncle Joe.
much better than his mama is, I think.
Good, good.
Point. So we got that as a gift. And also, he slept really well last night too. So I actually got like a 4-hour stretch twice between wake ups. So I'm like, man, little guy actually even got me a Mother's Day that wasn't even the thing that his dad got. So it was just really great. If you had a great Mother's Day, or if you have a great Mother's Day story of like a time that it really just hit you in a wave of emotions, I would love to hear from you if you have the time. 616-600-0957, or send us a DM inside our Mix 95.7 app. Mother's Day was a super wonderful, amazing experience for me. My very first one. I got to spend it with my family. It was also my mom's birthday, which was a little bittersweet, but it was just really nice to be reminded of how lucky I am and where I am in life to have an amazing, healthy son, a wonderful family that supports me, and just the overwhelming emotions of being a mom, and maybe a little bit of sleep deprivation kind of fueling those hormones a little bit. But we have Laura from Caledonia on the line. Laura, how was your Mother's Day?
I had a wonderful Mother's Day. My kids, my girls, I have 3 kids, 2 girls that are 14 and 12 and a boy who's 8. And the girls went above and beyond this year. It was really awesome.
What did they do?
Well, they got up at 7 a.m. and my girls, they walked to the store, which is about a 15-minute walk to D&W. They used money that they made at their dad's pulling weeds and bought flowers, candy, a balloon, and Starbucks, came home, cleaned the kitchen, dining room, and living room all for me while I was still sleeping. And they came and woke me up at like 9:30 and showed it all to me.
Oh, that is so sweet, Laura.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So what did they do? Like that they were in trouble?
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of trouble have they been getting into lately?
Nothing actually. I think that I'm a single mom, and they just wanted to do something special for me, and nothing. It was amazing. It brought a tear to my eye. Multiple tears to my eyes, actually. So.
Wow.
As it should have. You're clearly raising some really great kids that have some really great empathy, and that's just incredible to hear. You know, a lot of people don't get to hear those like positive stories of a single mom who's really loved and appreciated, and it's so good to see that you clearly are showing that love to your kids, that they could show it back to you like that.
Yeah, it really, really is. It made me very proud and made me feel like with that we're between myself and their dad, we're doing stuff right. So
You are. Hey, Laura, you want to give your daughters a shout out? Like, what's their names?
yeah, it's Caitlin and Maya, and then my son Levi. He made something at school for me that was really special, and then he actually helped me pull some weeds yesterday.
Oh, man, you got some good kids right there. Hey, thank you so much, Laura, for sharing that. And thanks to Laura Hardy for sharing everything that happened kind of for your first Mother's Day. We appreciate you moms out there.
It's time to play Laura Can't Lose on Mix 95.7. Here's how it happens. You'll have 1 minute to answer 5 questions. You can pass if you need to, and we'll come back if time allows. A tie goes to Laura because, well, her name's on the show. Here's who's playing Laura Can't Lose today.
Hopefully he had a good weekend. Let's welcome back from Rockford, Sam, to play Laura Can't Lose.
Good morning, Sam.
Good morning.
You are now up to a $45 jackpot worth of Michigan lottery tickets you could possibly snag for me. And after your perfect game on Friday, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous.
You should be.
Oh, I like the feistiness. All right, go ahead. Kick me out, Sam. I know you're ready for it.
Yeah, get out, Laura.
That's what I'm talking about. No more love. All right, that door closes. I'll begin with question number 1, which is, in 2002, she had a hit debut single with the song Complicated.
Avril Lavigne.
Question 2, who played the role of Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Is that Hemsworth?
Question 3, what street do Big Bird and Elmo live on?
Sesame Street.
Question 4, what is the name of the famous sandstone formation located in the UP?
Pictured Rock.
Question 5, 4 presidents are on Mount Rushmore: Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and who?
George Washington.
Okay, let me bring Laura in.
Laura, la 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 Laura.
Okay, Sam, let's see how you do against Laura. Laura, you have a chance today to actually beat Sam, but you got to go 5 for 5. He got 4 correct.
Okay, let's see how we do.
Question number 1. In 2002, she had a hit debut single with the song Complicated.
That would be Avril Lavigne.
That's correct. 1-1. Question 2. Who played the role of Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
One of the many Chris's. That would be Chris Evans.
That is correct. Laura's taken a 2-1 lead going into question 3.
Uh-oh.
What street do Big Bird and Elmo live on?
Sesame Street. My son Justin's favorite show right now.
Correct. 3-2 going into question 4. What is the name of the famous sandstone formation in the UP?
What? I don't even know what you're referencing. This is not good news for me. The UP Stonehenge?
You've heard people say, oh man, I got to go to the UP Stonehenge this weekend.
Well, I've never heard anybody talk about going to a sandstone anything. So, no, I have no clue.
The answer you were looking for is Pictured Rocks.
It's sandstone?
Yes.
I thought it was like a little lake thing. I don't know what Pictured Rocks is.
Why don't you
clearly.
go ahead and Google that later?
Yeah, I'll look it up. That's
Awkward.
fine.
It is now a tie game. 3-3 going into question 4.
Oh,
you
no.
get this right, we tie, and we play again.
Okay.
You get it wrong, and Sam's a winner. Question 5. 4 presidents are on Mount Rushmore: Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and who?
It's George Washington, isn't it?
Well, if Sam wants to play again, he certainly can, because we have a 4-4 tie.
Woo!
Sam, you want to come back and play?
Yeah, for sure.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
Over the weekend, 10,000 people ran the 47th annual Riverbank Run. It was just so cool to see everybody do that on social media. I wasn't going to be running.
No, me neither, but good for them.
In the men's 25K race, Diego Estrada won with a time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 9 seconds. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That broke the American record for the 25K. And then on the women's side of that, Betsy Sanina crossed the finish line at 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 31 seconds, also breaking the American record.
That's insane that 2 people broke the American record in one single race.
I think my favorite racers that I was cheering on, though, didn't see a bib on them, were the mama and her baby ducks that ran along the race course. Did you see this video?
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, if you've not seen it, you need to. It'll brighten up your day. It's in our Mix 95.7 app.
Okay, so have you ever found something weird in your yard, Joe?
Oh, gosh, so many things, yes.
Well, here's something you absolutely do not want to find. An explosive device was found in a Van Buren County yard while the homeowner was doing some yard work.
Oh, my God, that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine you're like mowing your yard and you find it. It was a partially live grenade that they found like in their yard while they were doing stuff. The sheriff's office obviously shows up. They look into it and they're like, yep, nope, that used to be a fake grenade. Now it's a real grenade. Somebody had modified what was like a training grenade and they actually put real explosives in it.
But why would it be in a what?
No one knows. No one knows why it's there, but they did check into it and thankfully they detonated it. Everyone's fine, but just, check your yard occasionally. You never know what you're going to find.
Or maybe don't. And for your final need to know news story, we're heading to Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia, where a bunch of nursing students' names were mispronounced at their graduation.
Oh no.
Marlena.
Oh, Melanie.
Zabeth.
Molly.
Carolina. Urina. Tamume. Thomas.
There's no excuse excuse for this. These are some very simple names that every person knows how to pronounce.
This is me. Anytime you and I get asked to come out and do an event and announce people and do a charity thing, I'm like, oh boy, I'm sorry.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron, are you here?
That is Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7. It is Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. And so you're saying that this lady did something that's a universal rule we're not allowed to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an unspoken rule, and maybe you'll agree with me. If you do, you can give us a call, or if you don't, 616-600-0957. Last weekend, my husband and I were traveling, as we frequently do, for his TikTok to cover a concert. We were in Nashville, Tennessee, and I wanted some cowboy boots because when you're in Nashville, I don't have a pair of nice cowboy boots. We're going to a lot of country concerts. I figured this is the time to pull the trigger and do something nice for myself.
Yeah, that's the spot to be if you're going to get some boots.
Absolutely. So there's a store called Take of Us. If you know of the brand of shoes, they're basically like the cowboy boots. And obviously being in Nashville, it's right next to Broadway. There's a little bit of a line to get inside because they help you custom get your boots. So you have to wait for a salesperson. So naturally, there's a few people in front of us. And we get in the back of the line to wait our turn. And the lady in front of us immediately turns around. She's like, hey, just so you know, I am saving spots for 5 people. I hope that's okay with you, and then turns back around. Now, obviously, I didn't even have a chance to be like, no, are you insane? That is not okay to do. And I wanted to know, just how many spots do you think is too many spots for someone to hold in line? Now, I get it. If your partner is going off to do something and it's just you and them, you're checking out together, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not like a complete Karen about it. However, I truly believe that holding your spots for 5 people, meaning 5 separate transactions, because it was like a group of girlfriends. They were not a family, obviously. And that's like the rudest thing you could do, right?
I kind of disagree. I feel like it's a bit of an overreaction.
Why?
Well, we've all had a thing in life where it's like you have to go to the bathroom, so somebody holds your spot in line, a friend or family member, whatever it is. Or usually it's my friends for me, but I've been in places before where I was the first one there. And yeah, I'm not going to be this person in line and my friends are 100 people back. It's just 5 people. And the fact that she told you, it's not like she blindsided you and they just walked up and like got into line. She gave you the courtesy like, hey, just so you know, there's 5 other people I'm just holding their spot.
Yeah, no, you don't get to hold 5 people's spot though. Because
Why?
Listen, the reason that you have to wait in line is because there's a line of people who want to wait for the thing. So, like, her friends were off shopping. It's not like they were in the bathroom. Like, they were literally like 3 or 4 other stores that were surrounding this area doing other things because they just didn't feel like waiting in line. So, if you don't feel like waiting in line, either wait until the line is gone or you you deal with it. You don't go to that store, but you don't get to hold the line. So, I have to wait an additional 4 people back, basically, all because you guys didn't want to. That sucks. That sucks. You didn't want to wait in line. Then you don't get to go to the store.
So how long were you like inconvenienced when they finally came? How long did that make your stay like in line longer?
I would say another 10 plus minutes probably.
10 minutes? It's not that bad at all.
They all had to get different salespeople and stuff. And like, I'd been waiting in line for like 20, 25 minutes at this point. I just wanted to get my food and go like afterwards. Like I had dinner plans and stuff. And I was like, I don't have time for this. I just want to look for my boots. I already knew exactly which pair I wanted. They were like perusing the store and wandering. So like if they had been there at the window, they could have looked inside like I did, had some vague ideas of what they wanted. But instead, I don't know. I think it's so rude. Again, if it's like you're all on one transaction, imagine going to like Frosty Boy and there's like, hey, I held the line for my entire baseball team in front of me. Like, would you not be annoyed in this scenario?
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to act like I'd be happy about it, but it's like, that's kind of what you do. Like,
no, you wait in line. Listen, we're not going to agree on this.
Real quick, how many people then, can you hold it for a single person or no? Like if you and I are in line, I got to go to the bathroom. We're like, I don't know, at the ballpark or something, the Whitecaps.
Totally fine.
That's okay.
Yeah, because it's more than likely you're on the same transaction anyway, or at least it's only one additional transaction. But if you're doing 3, 4, 5 transactions additionally, you have to wait in line. And if your whole party's not there, it's not a restaurant, you don't have a reservation, you're not all going to the same place. Back of the line to you until you're ready to wait for it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a stickler. It's just rude.
Line police. Woo, woo.
So what do you think? Should people have to wait in line here? Is it a jerk move to hold the spot for 5 separate people? Or are you like Big Joe and you're like, listen, you're going to have to wait regardless. Whether they're there or not doesn't matter. 616-600-0957. Or you can send us a DM at the Mix 95.7 app.
Apparently, you cannot hold the spot for other people in line or Laura Hardy's got a problem.
That's not true. Hey, we're Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7 Grand Rapids Best Mix. If you weren't here earlier and you may have missed it, I went to the Take of Us store in Nashville, which is a big cowboy boot store, and I was really excited to buy me some cowgirl boots before we went to see Morgan Wallen. But this woman in line in front of us, I don't think she's a bad person, but I think what she did was very rude. She was like, hey, I know it's just me standing here. I've got 5 other friends I'm holding spots in line for. Is it okay? And of course, at the moment, I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to get in a fight with this woman outside of it. Nashville's full of wild people, so I'm not trying to start anything. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I spent the entire time fuming, and I can't stop thinking about it since then and being like, who are you to think that you get to hold 5 spots for people because they just don't feel like waiting in line?
616-600-0957. That's 616-600-0957. Do you agree with Laura that to hold that many spots in line, that's rude? I mean, maybe more than that, it's rude, but I don't see it that way.
But it's 5 separate transactions you have to wait for. Shouldn't they have to wait their turn just like I did? Anyway, we've got Nikki and Grant on the line. Good morning, Nikki. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm with you, girl.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Big Joe is being a little too lenient. I mean, how many people do you think can hold, like, how long should you be able to hold the line for other people? Or how many people?
Whoever you came with originally. Like, if they got in line with you, they have to go to the bathroom or whatnot. They come back. They were there originally with you. They arrived at the same time as you, right? So if you have people like, oh, we're like 30 minutes out, it's like, no, come on.
Okay, so
Seriously.
wait. So, Nikki, these people then, they were there, I assume, at the same time. They just went, like, shopping and stuff. So Laura should have just calmed down and been okay with it then.
No, it's just taking advantage at that point. Get in line, wait your turn. And this is coming from, like, I'm totally one to show up late all the time. My family knows it. It's like if the thing's at 2 o'clock, they say, oh, it's at 1:30, just so I show up on time type situation. So if I need to wait in line, I'm going to wait in line. It's like, it's what you do. It's what you do.
Thank you. Like, again, I'm not a total monster. If your kid or your spouse had to go to the bathroom, like, I don't care. It's like you're waiting in line for 5 people for 5 separate transactions that I'm now going to have to wait through. At least you should wait your turn. Maybe if it had been one friend out of a group of 5 total, I would have, again, accepted it. But when it's the entire party and you've sent one person to be your messenger, then that one person gets in and the rest of you guys should wait in line for your turn when it is your turn.
Well, your timing was perfect, too, because I saw it and I was, like, probably still, like, a little steamed from a recent situation where we were at, like a concert, like a kid's concert. And we get there nice and early, and so we can get a good seat. We tell our kids, hey, we're going to try to sit towards the front because we got here nice and early. And we go to, like, go down this pew because there's, like, it's almost the whole row is open. And one person at the end is going, oh, no, these are all saved.
Oh.
And I'm not kidding you. It was almost the entire row. It was insane. And I'm like, wait a minute. These people are going to show up.
No,
probably
absolutely.
30 seconds. Exactly. So I saw your post and I'm like, oh, yep.
Thank you. See, I think in most circumstances, it's not okay. If it's one person, they're in the bathroom, they're going to be right back and whatever, fine. But I agree, Nikki. It's too much. You're asking too much.
Laura, you look a little too happy. It's Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. We are Big Joe and Laura.
Why do I look so happy?
I don't know. You tell me what's going on. People are on your side or something?
Well, I guess so. I mean, we were talking about the fact that I think it's incredibly rude to hold a bunch of spots in line, especially if each person's having a separate order. I was at a boot store in Nashville, and it's a very popular brand. It's called Take of Us, if you know who they are. And I wanted my first pair of real expensive, by the way, like $300 boots I ended up buying. But the lady in line in front of me, because the store's so popular, you have to wait for your sales consultant to help you. And so there's a line. Everybody's waiting their turn. But the lady in front of me turns around when we get in line and says, hey, I'm holding a spot for 5 of my girlfriends. They're all shopping other places. I hope that's okay. I said yes in the moment because I'm not looking for confrontation, but it has bothered me for the last week as I keep thinking about it. I'm like, wait, the nerve of this lady. And so I wanted to know, am I crazy or is it a jerk move to hold 5 spots for 5 separate people in line at a business? Big Joe, you disagree with me.
I mean, yeah, ideally, do I want people to do that? No, but I think we're all human. It happens. And you know what? She at least told you up front. It's not like they just came in, you're like, whoa. Who are these people?
I'll give her the 3% respect courtesy that she did tell me, but that doesn't make it any less rude to do it. Just because someone says, hey, I'm about to cut you off in traffic doesn't make it any less infuriating if someone were to cut you off in traffic. So you guys have been DMing us in the Mix 95.7 app, which you can always do, or you can send us a voice memo anytime inside the Mix 95.7 app. But Nathan in Wyoming said, I'm with Laura on the lines, but I try not to be too confrontational unless it's really egregious, which fair. Again, I'm not trying to start a fight with somebody. People are drunk and crazy in Nashville. That's especially a place you don't want to start a fight with somebody.
I kind of wish you would have. We'd have even a crazier story to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think the bosses would have bailed me out of jail for that one. And Teresa here in Grand Rapids said, I would have said, I don't see those 5 people here currently. Sorry, they aren't going in front of me.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have said that.
It's a jerk move. They can't be where they need to be. Then they go to the back of the line like I had to. So 0. There shouldn't be a reason to hold a spot if they weren't there, unless you're like going to the bathroom. I understand if it's the person immediately behind you, whatever. Again, I'm not trying to be a jerk. If you have kids or family members that are going to the bathroom and you're all in the same transaction even, that's fine. I get it. Life happens.
Sure it is, Laura.
But if your 5 friends are out shopping at other stores and just don't feel like it or are too good to wait in line, so they sit you as a representative, then they can represent themselves in the back of the line. No, thank you. And you can always fill us in with what you think. Send us a DM at the Mix 95.7 app.
This is Mix 95.7.